Well, that was a bit of an adventure. I'm all hot and flushed because we were just racing through the streets of Beijing. We decided to get a microphone for this camera because the audio is it's not that great. We just feel like we're having to talk so loudly in public in order for it to pick it up. So Tim looked up where we would be able to get a microphone here in Beijing, and we thought it would be a simple trip. Just, you know, put the address in our phone, get off at the closest tube station, walk to the shop and buy it.
But it turns out it wasn't in the right location.
Okay.
So we ended up walking a couple of Ks up and down this street trying to find the building.
We asked about 6 people if they knew where the address was, and they all just shook their heads, had no idea.
And we were getting pointed in different directions.
Yeah, literally doing U-bolts constantly in the same block.
So anyway, as we were talking to some locals, a woman came up who could speak English, and she punched in the address in her phone and pointed us in the right direction.
Yeah.
And she even phoned the shop to make sure they were still open. And yeah, so we got there, they already had the mic set aside for us, and it was all really easy after that.
Yeah, it went from us running around like headless chooks in the heat, not knowing what we were doing, to having this VIP service of the product waiting for us. The people here are just amazing. Even if when they don't understand English and they can't help us, they still try, and you can tell that they're really trying. And they'll ask other people, they'll even point down the street in the hope that someone else will speak English for you. It's been great.
We're very impressed. People in China, they're just so helpful.
And just for the record, we don't expect everyone to speak English at all. That's not what we expect. We know that we should be learning Chinese and trying to use Chinese, and we do. Just problems like this are because we don't have internet access here, and the maps that we're using are offline maps, which they don't really have much information in them at all. We've even tried matching up Chinese characters from the address that we have on the map that we got from the train station.
And it just really highlights how much we rely on the internet just to do simple things like find a shop. So another thing that we're noticing in China is there's just places to eat everywhere. So right across the road from the shop is this awesome dumpling place. They have vegetarian dumplings. So we've picked up some dumplings, some sides, and yeah, it looks amazing.
So these are vegetable buns. This is some kind of pickled cucumber, some vinegar, potato, red bean congee, and we got some garlic and chili. Should be good, pretty good meal, very cheap as well. It was like 35 yuan. What are you going to start with?
These bad boys.
Does it taste good? It's day 3 in Beijing. It feels like we've been here a lot longer. We've really become accustomed to our neighbourhood here. It's quite nice, little quiet street off of the main road there. Just about to head off to get some groceries for lunch. And then later on this evening we're going to go to a lake near the Forbidden City. Apparently it comes alive at night, so it should be good fun. Got our tomato and egg instant noodles. Now we just need some crackers. Do you want to get some of these for a snack? I actually don't know what any of this stuff is. It's just bits of things. Ni hao. Hello. What's your name? What's your name?
Ni hao.
That little boy just keeps tapping us on the shoulder and waving, but then when we put the camera on him, he runs away.
So would you believe, along this whole aisle, there is no dental floss at all. It's really hard to come by in China.
Yesterday we saw this shop and it had Beauty Smile written on the sign. We thought that surely has to be a dentist. No, it was like a children's swimming school. It was, I don't know. Nothing to do with teeth. Anyway, one of the staff members there helped us, found some guy that could speak English walking it past the shop. He then took us on and we went on this hunt for dental floss. He took us to a pharmacy, they didn't have it. He took us all the way to another supermarket, showed us where it was on the shelf. It was gold. It took about 20 minutes. He spent that long out of his own personal time just so that we could find dental floss. It was quite funny.
We've noticed a lot of these in China. It looks like a three-wheeled motorcycle with a cab built onto it. A lot of people use this for transport, getting around. Easy parking.
And people used to say that my barina was small. We're now off to Houhai Lake, which is north of the Forbidden City. It's a Friday night and it's meant to be happening in that area with lots of young locals and tourists. So let's check it out. Should be good. This here is the hotel we were meant to be staying in for the last couple of days, the one that wouldn't let us check in without our passport. As you can see, it's on a really busy main road, so we're not that fussed. We kind of like the place we're staying at. Worked out well. I gave her all the crab coins. She wasn't very happy about it, but I had to get rid of them. Those security checks that they've got at the entrance to every single metro, sometimes the operators are like resting their eyes, so I don't know, is it more of an inconvenience than a safety check?
哥上这新歌，今年30，这个5块。
I definitely feel like we're in Asia. It's hot, there's bikes and scooters everywhere, lots of interesting smells.
That's right. Really warming to China. I didn't know what to think at first. It's sort of a bit of a mix between Vietnam and Japan, but it's definitely got its own culture going on and
Yeah.
really interesting place.
I think when you've been to a few Asian countries, you just try to compare them all, and then once you're there for a few days, you realise that they are all each of their own unique country. They all have their own little quirks.
And it's really fun just finding all that out.
Yeah.
Do you know where we're going?
We keep getting lost, but thankfully I have Maps Me, so as you can see, it's a lot of these little narrow alleyways. I think we can get to the lake this way. Let's try. These alleyways are just twisty, turny, never ending. We were here last night and we thought that we'd come yesterday, but it was just way too dark when we first arrived and we couldn't get our bearings at all. So I'm glad that we came back when it's still sunny, because this is a maze. There's a little duck island. They've got little duck houses on their little island. As you can guess, we love a good lake, and this one hasn't let us down. There's something about walking around a lake and just seeing what people are doing on their days off. This is a great map of Houhai Lake. We got off the tube here and wandered through these little alleyways. Now we're making our way all the way around to the lake, which used to be old residences, and now it's where all the bars and restaurants are, including Duck Island.
April keeps going on about these bars and restaurants, but I can't really see any.
I think this is called a bar or maybe a restaurant, Tim? But there haven't been as many as I thought there would be. I'll give him that. Thirsty down.
One of the things I love about Asian countries is there's so many little shops and delis around that it's so easy to get water, drinks, some snacks. It's really good.
Those guys keep stopping and offering us a lift, but we cannot think of anything worse than riding around in one of them looking like a tourist. Even more so.
It's a nice way to spend a Friday evening, just using your slingshot by the river. It's great.
I'm so hungry, but it's too nice to leave. Verge of getting hangry though, so maybe we should go.
And we don't want a hangry April. No, we don't.
What? He gets hangry too. So this is where all of the bars and restaurants are. I think we were just at the wrong end. We found it just as the nightlife has started though.
We've noticed they really like their live music here. This is the 4th bar that we've walked past and there's been a live band in each one. It's a good Friday night out. Alright, it's that time of day again. It's time for us to find some vegetarian food. Here we go. So this Google app, Google Translate, has been so handy. I can't tell you how many times I've used this phrase.
This actually looks really good. I'm just going to ask if it has meat in it. And fingers crossed it doesn't have any meat. No? Yes. Okay. Sweet. This is a popular little place. It took a while to make, but it looks delicious. It's like a crepe with scrambled egg and some kind of crispy wafer thing, lots of chili and some sesame seeds. She did say it was vegetarian and I didn't see her put anything that looked like meat in there, so here we go. Yeah, that's good. It's tasty. It's got some spring onions in here too. And then 10 yuan, which is about $2 Australian. Good. Bye bye. Yum. Let's try it. It's good, it's dipped in sugar.
Notice the police have an interesting device on them. It's this giant claw, like a crab claw. Yet to see it be used, but it would be quite painful, I think.
We noticed these bright lights in the sky from a distance and we thought that they were drones, but now we realise that they're just really big kites with LED lights attached.
We're going to call it a night here. We reckon we've seen the best the lake has to offer.
We do, yeah. So during the day it was lovely weather and it was really nice to just walk around the lake and take it all in, and at night time it's definitely changed. It's a lot busier and there's a lot going on. It has a great vibe here. So this lake is enjoyable day and night. It's great.
It's been a lot of fun.
Tomorrow we'll explore a little bit more of Beijing. Hopefully the weather's just as good as today.
Wow, these guys are pretty good.